Chris Foreman involved?
Brad
Joe Graham.
Mike Marksberry.
Brian Bussa.
Yourself. Stick out of yourself.
Kendra, Mark Sperry.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
So, I think texting and driving should be banned. My name is Neal Bell. I've been in emergency services for right at 20 years. And I've responded to many emergency or MBAs that have been caused by distracted driving and texting and driving, being on your playing with your radio, stuff like that. One thing to think about is at any given time, each one of us has one of our loved ones on the roadways. Well, we're going to talk about some different numbers, and hopefully with some data that I've collected, if you're doing this, I'm going to change your mind. And if you're not doing this, maybe you'll talk to your loved ones about not doing it too. 40%. According to the FCC.gov, 40% is the number of teens who have been in a vehicle with distracted drivers. 1.6 million is, what did I just do? 1.6 million is the number of auto-related accidents that we annually have that are occurred because of distracted driving. Okay, and that's according to investorplace.com. So there's some numbers for you and the dangers and to show you exactly how prevalent it is. So we're going to talk about the results of those accidents. 3,328. That's the number of deaths that have occurred in 2012 from vehicle accidents from distracted driving. 421,000 are the number of people that were injured in vehicle accidents as a result of distracted driving. And those numbers are according to the CDC.gov. 23 times is a number that if you are distracted as a driver, that's how more prevalent you are to getting in an accident versus not doing anything different than paying attention to the road. And that's according to an article I found on cbsnews.com. So we've looked at the results of those numbers that we saw with the 1.6 million and all that. And so what does the science say? Well, the data is very clear. Paul Green, professor at University of Michigan Research Institute, did a study and found that the data is there that says that texting and driving is dangerous. The problem is we don't have enough data to know what to do with it. So we don't know exactly what we need to do with it. 3 seconds is the number of seconds that it took a driver to look away, 3 seconds is the amount of time that in 80% of the crashes, right before the crash happened, 3 seconds before the crash happened, that person was just distracted. 65% was in near crashes. In other words, somebody was doing something, felt they were running off the road, caught it, and wasn't involved in an accident. And that was found on textinganddraving.com. 5 seconds is the amount of time driving 55 miles an hour that it takes to travel the length of a football field. As we saw in our video in the introduction, it's also the amount of time that it normally takes you to read a text or respond to it. So what can we do about these things? What can we do about this issue that's causing a lot of accidents? Well, according to textingwhiledriving.com, 89% of American adults agree that there is a problem, that it is dangerous and that something needs to be done about it. But I bet if you took a poll for the people driving, 89% of those same adults are still the ones that text and drive. CDC.gov tells us that many states are enacting laws. Matter of fact, South Carolina started theirs yesterday. If you're caught texting and driving now, you will get a ticket. Well, what's a $25 fine? They've done studies and they found that there's not enough data to know if these laws are helping because they've only been implemented for a short time. So to review the numbers, our department is working on a public service announcement for texting and driving. And I kind of finagled my way into the video. I'm not in it, but I got permission to use it. It has not been published yet, but it will be shortly, hopefully.
A little more. Right now, 1, 2, 3. No. One bed, then the back of the truck. Alright, no, the bad stuff's all over. How you feeling? Good with this? Okay.
So I hope that the information I give you gives you something to think about and you'll at least act upon it. If you are texting and driving or doing a lot of distracted driving, I hope that you change. If you're not, I hope you spread the word to your family and let them know that it's very, very dangerous. Your life could depend on your decision. Thank you.
Chris Fornval, Bradley Wiseman, Joe Graham,
Michael Marksberry.
Brian Bussa.
Kendra Marksberry.